Hey, welcome back to Eric Arnold's Sports Barn. Or is it the Sports Barn by Eric Arnold? I forget what I named it. At any rate, it is wee hours of the morning on Thursday the 21st. And we're here to give you the weekend's college and NFL games. Well, we've been on a roll here to start the season. I don't know if we're on a roll. I think we're pretty much right where we want to be. We had a terrible first week in college, and we followed it up last weekend with a spectacular week. So right now our total record in college and pros is, let's see, I'll try to put it here. I know there's a blind spot right there, and I'm in a barn with patched together old lamps and work lights and crap, so, you know, it's not professional, obviously. You read that, 47 and 36, which is roughly 55, 56%. That's right where we want to be. You know, you could hit that all season long. You're going to make a lot of money. And that's where we're at. And that's where I expect we're going to stay. So you're in the right place. Now, we also put our bets up at betstamp.app. And just look under my name, Eric Arnold. There, Eric Arnold. Except there's no space there. It's all one word. Eric Arnold, all one word. The A is capitalized. That's my handle at BetStamp. It's a complicated handle. Eric Arnold. That's me. So you can see from my record at BetStamp that, yeah, we win. You know, we have a record, an established history of picking winners. I said when I started this channel, right before the world ended, that it was a 10-year project. And I don't know what exactly that means even, like what I expect to happen at the end of 10 years. Whether I intend to, you know, I'm going to be the next Jimmy the Greek on Fox or CBS giving winners out to America, or I'm just going to be printing money in a corner somewhere by myself without telling anybody, just picking winner after winner after winner. I don't know. We finished the baseball season up. I think I'm done with baseball. You know, I'm just kind of, you know, I'm worn out on it. It really is a marathon. I know that's been said, and it's an overused cliche when it comes to the baseball season, but it really is a marathon, and I've run 6 of them, so I know. It is every bit a marathon, that 162-game schedule. You just get worn out, you get tired, you just start to lose interest. But at any rate, we finished that season up plus 20 units. What does that mean? 20 units. That means you won $20? Well, yes, that means I won $20 if my unit was $1. You know, in other words, I flat bet. You know, a lot of people don't, but I would say a lot of people do in some variety flat bet. In other words, what do you normally bet? You know, if there's a game you like, what do you put on it? Do you put $10? I know one subscriber puts $1 on it. You know, and that doesn't make no sense to me. But, you know, anyway, that's you know, that he's he and me's me. So, you know, it doesn't really, why would it make sense to me? But do you bet $100? Do you bet $10? You know, so for example, if I was betting $500 a game times 20, that'd be $10,000. In other words, if one was betting $500 a game, if that was my normal unit of a bet, at plus 20 units, that means I won $10,000. So, you know, that's not bad, you know, considering over a whole season. You know, that's a bit of risk. You know, and now here, Money Management 101, you need a bankroll. You got to have a bankroll. If you don't have a bankroll, then you're looking at hurting yourself betting. You got to keep records. That's another thing, subscriber F. You should be keeping records, but that's neither here nor there. Never bet more than, say, 2% of your bankroll. Otherwise, you're looking at getting really hurt in one game, and there are a lot of variants in sports. It's been my experience is that the game that you absolutely are certain is a lead pipe cinch lock, cannot lose, they always lose. So you get that one game where the ball bounces the wrong way and you got too much on the line, that's bad money management. That's the way you lose. So that's why I flat bet. I just take the variance out of it and just try to, I'm thinking of maybe next year fiddling with that a little bit and maybe putting a little more on the line on games that I have historically done better with. I did some analysis in baseball. I did well with dogs and huge favorites, if that makes any sense. But those are ones I did well with. If I had a dog, I usually hit it. If I had a huge favorite, I usually hit it. If I had one in the middle, like a middling favorite, those sucked. I didn't do very well with those. So I may do some more deep diving on that, trying to figure out why. But at any rate, so a unit, that's what you normally bet. I was up 20 units for the baseball season. I'm proud of that. I think that earned some applause, frankly, from the audience. But at any rate, most of the baseball picks were at betstamp.app until I just started getting worn the hell out and bored, and then maybe I stopped putting every last pick up there. I don't know what we'll do next year, and I don't know if we'll keep making these videos in that. A subscriber X, he just wants the picks. He doesn't want to hear me talk. So he doesn't want to, waste his time listening to me talk. So he just wants the picks. And I noticed subscriber X, there's no Ohio State game listed here. No Ohio State game. So you're going to have to listen to the end of the video or hit the button now and go to the end of the video where I will have the pick there for you. But I did that on purpose for you, subscriber X. But at any rate, betstamp.app if you don't want to waste your time listening. See, to me, I would want to learn something about handicapping. In other words, why is this guy picking that game? Why does he have that side? I'm trying to do this so, when Eric gets hit by a bus or is arrested by the FBI, then I know that I can do some of this on my own without him telling me what to do. So that's why I would be listening to these videos instead of just going to betstamp.app. But, that's me. That's me. All right, let's go. We got a lot of ground to cover here now that I've taken my victory lap. What is this? Is this Friday? I forget what the game was Thursday, but I couldn't make heads or tails out of it. So we'll have to just bet the NFL on Thursday. But Wisconsin -6 over Purdue. Wisconsin has some ridiculously great record against Purdue. And in fact, I looked this up. I think the last time they lost at Purdue, Bill Clinton was still president. If you can believe that. It was in the 90s. I think it was before he was getting knob jobs from Monica Lewinsky. That's how long ago that was. Vince Foster was still dead, though, but that's how long ago it's been since Purdue held serve on their own field against Wisconsin. So I'm just going to lay the 6 and just expect what happened yesterday is going to happen tomorrow. North Carolina State -9.5, Virginia. Virginia started out with a 14-0 lead against Maryland, and I was thinking, wow, the model must be way off in this one. The model loved Maryland, and wow, we're down 14-0. This is not good. And then they just went on to proceed to give up 42 straight points. So I'm thinking any team that just hands over 42 straight points can't be very good. We'll take the Wolfpack. Boise minus the 6.5 at San Diego State. I honestly don't have any rationale for that one. It's just there. We like that. Air Force minus the 3.5 against San Diego State. Air Force is a good, solid military team that runs the ball. That they always have. We like playing those kind of teams. I like the discipline. I like the running game. You win the ball by running the ball. You win the game by stopping the other team from running the ball. So good running teams, the barn is always going to gravitate towards those type of teams. Another Kirby Smart special, an out-of-conference massive favorite. We talked about this in a previous video. He's from the Saban tree. This traditional Saban Smart theory on that is you just give him a gentleman's beating of about 40 to 41 points, and everybody goes home happy. So we'll take UAB. I'd wait to play that. You know, that line will probably float up a little more. You might catch 44, 45 points by game time. South Carolina, latest 6.5 against Mississippi State. I think I'm on the right read there with Mississippi State and their brand new coach. The program's going to take a step back for a year, trying to get over the death of Mike Leach. Sad thing, because I liked Mike Leach. I thought he was a real good coach, and he was entertaining. He just seemed like a real good guy, and you know, college football is worse without him. We'll take the Gamecocks. Oklahoma minus the 14.5 at Cincinnati. You know, Oklahoma's undefeated. Everybody thinks this is a team that lost 7 games last year. Now, if you went to my other channel, Old Sports Stories, is that what we called it? Yep, Old Sports Stories. You might know that Oklahoma went the whole decade of the 50s and didn't lose 7 games. They lost 7 games just last year. But they're undefeated this year, and it's possible they could be good. It's possible. So we're going to explore that possibility and lay the 14.5. Virginia Tech, I don't know, man. I mean, a Power 5 team as an underdog to a non-Power 5 team, I got to take the Power 5 team here. I mean, Marshall frankly surprised me 2 weeks ago when they won at East Carolina. I didn't think Marshall was going to be able to execute that, and they did somehow. Virginia Tech's been pretty unimpressive. This is kind of a circle the wagons game for Virginia Tech. In other words, you start losing to these off-the-map teams, they're going to kick you out of the Power 5 pretty soon. So Virginia Tech needs this game. We're going to lay the 5.5 and just say there's more institutional depth there with Virginia Tech. Carolina latest 7.5. I have no idea why. Baylor, we're going to take them. I think that's you got to mix in some of these oddball games occasionally. In other words, everybody's going to be on Texas. Nobody's taking Baylor. I think these two teams generally play each other pretty close. I don't know that Texas has suddenly made this huge leap where they've pulled away from Baylor. You know, those teams have been pretty close in the last few years, and the games have been pretty close. And now suddenly, Texas is so damn good. I think Texas is getting a lot of mileage out of that Alabama win. And as you saw last week, Alabama looked like shit. So I don't know that was all that impressive. I think we're getting a lot of points. Baylor's at home. We'll take Baylor. The aforementioned Bama, there they are. 7-point favorites against Lane Kiffin. Well, this is probably a trap, but we're going to go ahead and take Mississippi. You know, this is probably where Alabama rolls out their, you know, unbelievable NFL team and beats somebody 50-0 and says, see, it was all a trick. We were actually not that bad. In fact, we were still elite. And everybody goes, yeah, well, I should have seen it coming. Well, you know, They were so bad last week, we're just going to go ahead and take the points with Mississippi, who's not, Mississippi's pretty good in their own right. So we're going to see if they can keep it close. LSU minus 17.5, no real rationale there. Minnesota, we like the coach, minus 11.5 over Northwestern. Remember, I said we're fading them all year long because of the hazing scandal, and that's a program in complete disarray. So you got good coach versus bad coach, no brainer. Interesting, Rutgers, plus 24, steam. There's steam on this game towards Rutgers. And I'm with them. I think the way you play Rutgers, you catch them early in the year. They don't have a lot of depth. The Big Ten schedule grinds these guys down, and they get injured, and they lose. Next thing you know, by November, they're not very good. But early in the season, they have some pretty good talent on their front lines. So I think they can hang with Michigan. Michigan has not played well. And 24 points, they ain't playing Bowling Green now. This is a real good team here with Rutgers. So I know everybody's, Rutgers, Rutgers is undefeated. Rutgers has beaten some people relatively easily. So we're going to say Rutgers hangs with Michigan. Tennessee bouncing off a loss at Florida. We think they're going to pound the hell out of San Antonio, lay the 20.5, try to grab it before it gets to 21. USC, huge favorite at Arizona State. Same deal, Arizona State in total disarray. Herm Edwards forced out at the middle of last year because of a recruiting scandal. Disarray in Arizona State. They got some 33-year-old kid in there who's way over his head in a Power 5 conference. Is the Pac-12 still a Power 5 conference? I don't even know anymore. But Lincoln Riley, this is one of his specialties, is these massive favorites against the tomato can. He likes to run the score up. So watch for USC to get into the 60s and cover that number relatively easy. This is probably the game of the day. Oregon laying 21 against our Dion, against Dion, the great Dion. I don't know what to make of this. I really don't. I mean, I've been saying Colorado's a top 10 team. And there's steam. There's steam behind Oregon. This thing opened at 18, now it's 21. I'm going to take Oregon. That steam tells me a couple things. Well, obviously, steam tells you somebody knows something. And as I've pointed out repeatedly here in the barn, we do not analyze endlessly these games. We might spend 5 minutes a game when we do our handicap, and maybe less. And then that I start handicapping the game, and then I see something shiny, or the cat walks in, or a Gilligan's Island starts on the TV, and then I get distracted. And, next thing you know, I actually spent like 60 seconds on the game, but I sat there for 5 minutes supposedly thinking about the game. So we don't do a lot of analysis. We do a lot of snap judgments, and we're not bad at it, 54, 55%. Here's what this tells me. There's a lot of steam on this game. Someone knows something. Colorado, I don't know who set their schedule up, but they have done some heavy work here in the opening 3 weeks. TCU was in the championship game last year. They were in the championship game. Now, I know everyone's saying, well, they weren't very good and they got destroyed. They didn't belong there. I don't care. They were in the championship game. Then you had Nebraska. That is an ancient rival of Colorado's from a Power 5 conference. That is a tough, punchy-in-the-face team, Nebraska. Tough. Not necessarily good, but tough. And then you got another in-state rival, if anybody, I was thinking that earlier today, that game between Colorado State and Colorado, that might be the highest rated game ever at 1:30 in the morning. How many people watched that game all the way to the end? It's like 1:30 in the morning and you're still glued to the TV because we got to see how this comes out, this fist fight. How does this come out? And that's what it was. It was a fist fight. People come out of that with lacerated livers. Really? And man, what a game. And now, so 3 weeks of heavy lifting for Colorado, and now they're playing a really good team in Oregon. This could be just a game where, and Colorado's missing their best player. So this could just be one of these games where it doesn't matter what Colorado does, they're just tired, and Oregon's going to run it up on them. And that's the way we're playing it. So we're taking Oregon, and the huge number. Utah -4.5, hard to win in the mountains. We'll take the home field advantage. Washington 21 over Cal. Cal sucks. Oregon State -3 over Washington State. Washington State had a long string going against Oregon State. Things that you've never known. But I'm telling you now, they did. Until last year when Oregon State finally broke the string. It's my experience that when you got a hitting streak going, and you finally, or a winning streak and you lose, you usually turn right around and lose again. So we think Oregon State's going to start their own string now and beat Washington State. Florida State -2 over Clemson. How far the mighty have fallen. I don't think Clemson's elite anymore. And there's a lot of steam on this behind Florida State. This is... Gee whiz, Florida State could just about cement their way into the playoff if they win this game. Huge, huge game. We're going to say they're going to do it. We're going to say they're going to do it. We're unimpressed with Clemson. So, Miami rolls over Temple. UConn catches Duke looking ahead. Duke plays Notre Dame next week. Take the 21.5. Maryland laid a 7.5 over Michigan State. What? I saw a little bit more from Mel Tucker. He's calling this a miscarriage of justice, that he's being fired by Michigan State. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. It was some kind of sexual harassment professional that he was, there was some kind of relationship there. I'm almost certain of that. That they were either dating in some fashion. You're dating a sexual harassment lawyer or professional victim or whatever the hell. You're an idiot. You're just a flat idiot. And then lo and behold, she accuses him of sexual harassment. Shazam! Who could have seen that coming? So he's out on his ass. He deserves to be, because for no other reason, you're an idiot. You're an absolute stone cold idiot. So they're in disarray. Lay the 7.5. All right, let's get to the main course here, at least here in Big Ten country. We got Penn State, we got Ohio State. Penn State, they might have the best team they've had in the Franklin era, -14 at home against Iowa. And there's a lot of steam on Penn State, so we're going with the steam. That seems high. I won't lie, that seems high. We're going to go with the steam. We're going to go with Franklin, who covers numbers. He covers numbers. That's what this guy does. This could finally be Franklin's elite team. If his terminology is Penn State's great, but that's like a pejorative, because, you know, we're just great. We're not elite. You know, we get our ass kicked by elite teams like Ohio State. So we're just great. You know, we're just great. I wish I was great, but he don't want to be great. He wants to be elite. So we'll say he's elite and beats Iowa. Penn State, that's right. Now, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Ohio State at South Bend. Huge amount of steam on this game in the direction of Notre Dame. Ohio State opened as an 8-point favorite. It's down to 3. That's how much steam is on Notre Dame. As you noted here, I've been following a lot of steam, and somewhat successfully. Usually, I think if you can correctly identify the steam, you're probably going in the right direction. Well, I don't think it's that hard to figure out that when the line goes from 8 to 3, there's steam, and it's on Notre Dame. So we got to be looking at Notre Dame here. I've said that Ryan Day sucks, that McCord sucks, that the combination is bad. I'm not the first one. Another, I think he's a subscriber, although I doubt he watches these videos. Ex-roommate of mine. He's very highly clued into the Ohio State scene. He has declared that Ryan Day is the next John Cooper, just as I have. Well, I tell you what, though, the one thing that John Cooper never did, lose to Notre Dame. One thing Ohio State doesn't do, we don't lose to Notre Dame. We don't. The last time we lost to these guys was 1936. That's 87 years ago. We don't lose to Notre Dame. We don't do it. And we're not going to do it here either. Lay the 3. Lay the 3 against Notre Dame. Ohio State's going to cover it. We're going to do what we do. We're going to score a ton of points. We're just going to outscore them and outspeed them, and that'll be that. So that's how we like that. All right, pros, let's whip through this. Thursday night, we are going to take the 10.5 with the Giants. I was certain the Giants were going to cover against the Cardinals, and they just dug themselves too big a hole, but they did come back and win. So I think the Giants are straightened out now somewhat. I mean, I see the Giants as a solid playoff team, a solid NFC playoff team, just as they were last year. And 10.5 points is a lot of points to be given that kind of team. So we're going to go ahead and take those points against the Niners. Colts plus the 8. Now that Richardson's hurt, the best quarterback they have is starting now. Minshew is better than Anthony Richardson, and he's now the starter, so I think you're catching value with the Colts at 8. Plus, I believe, who they playing? They're playing the Ravens. Ravens have a big divisional game after this. They probably are looking ahead to that. So we're looking to catch the Colts as a winner and a look-ahead spot for Baltimore. Tennessee plus 3.5 over the Browns. The Browns now, once again, are the Browns. As predicted, they would lose in Pittsburgh, and they did. They found a way. There's no way they should have lost that game. There's just no way they should have lost that game. But they did because they're the Browns. They invent ways to lose. Deshaun Watson sucks. That's pretty much how the season's going to end for you, Cleveland. That'll be the epithet they put on your 2023 season. Deshaun Watson sucks. That's how that's going to end. You have a great defense, but your quarterback killed you. He just single-handedly lost that game. And that's going to happen again and again. So I like Tennessee catching the 3.5. Cleveland licking their wounds after another game that they just could not lose and found a way to do it. Yeah, I like Tennessee there. Atlanta, 3.5 dogs at Detroit. I don't know. We're going to just go with the thing here that Detroit's just way overrated and Atlanta's just underrated. Who's talking about Atlanta? But, Detroit. So we'll take Atlanta there. The Packers, I think this is largely a play that if we're wrong, that means Derek Carr and the Saints are 3-0. And I just don't think they're that good at all. We watched, a good chunk of that Monday. Was it Monday night? Yeah, it was Monday night, where they played the Panthers. And boy, Derek Carr stinks. That's not a great team there. He made one clutch throw there late in the fourth quarter where I thought, all right, that throw down the sideline to the running back, which enabled them to go on then and get the clinching, or I should say the put it away touchdown. Carolina scored late, but it didn't matter. That throw made me think, all right, Carr is better than these rookie quarterbacks in that division, but he's still bad. He's not a good quarterback, I don't think. So we're going to go ahead and say the Packers get it done at home. We keep trying to hit these Texans, and we're going to try again here. with the 9.5 against the looking ahead Jaguars. I think they're looking ahead. I don't know. It's a divisional game. These divisional games, especially in that weird AFC South, often play closer than you think they're going to play. So we'll take the points there. Miami, we actually think these guys are pretty good. 6.5. My brother thinks Russell Wilson is totally, completely shot, that he sucks. And I'm starting to believe him. That's just he doesn't listen. He's trying to do things that his skill set no longer allows him to do. And it's hurting the team, and that's why Pete Carroll got rid of him. It's like, I can't coach this guy anymore. He's uncoachable. He doesn't listen. So now he's Sean Payton's problem, and I don't think Sean Payton's having much better luck with him than Carroll did. So we'll lay the 6.5 with Miami. Minnesota plus the 1. God, I wish Mike Zimmer was still there, and I would bet that with confidence. But, yeah, that one could go either way. We flipped the coin. It came up Vikings. The Patriots, this is one of these where if he loses, Bill Belichick opens 0-3. I'm going to say he finds a way to beat Zach Wilson. That he figures out a way to beat Zach Wilson. I don't think that's that heavy a lift. So, same deal here with the Bills. If they lose, that means the Redskins, the Commandos, the Commanders are 3-0. I don't believe I live in a world that weird, so we'll go ahead there with the Bills and lay the 6.5. Seahawks lay 6 against a bad Carolina team. Long trip to the West Coast on a short week for the Panthers. Advantage. Pete Carroll lay the 6. Dallas at Phoenix, that's going to be a home game for Dallas. Lay the 12 there against a bad Phoenix team. I was going to try to hit a home run, be sneaky man with the Bears, because Andy often will not cover these big numbers at home, especially early in the season. But the Bears, they just lost their defensive coordinator. And this story is totally in flux right now, where I guess ESPN reported that the defensive coordinator resigned to focus on his health. Then the internet was reporting all over the place that the FBI raided this guy's house. This guy Williams, I forget his first name, Mr. Williams, defensive coordinator for the Bears, that they raided Mr. Williams' house. And then he resigned. And I'm like, what? And I thought, okay, well, that makes sense. He's probably just a Republican or a J6er, or he just, said something about vaccinations on the internet. Then I saw he's a black guy, so no, he's not a Republican. So now why is the FBI raiding this guy's house? So I don't know the answer to that. It's your standard NFL crimes like domestic violence and assault and all that sort of thing have nothing to do with the FBI normally. So this story feels like there could be something serious there. In other words, something beyond Mr. Williams. Why is the FBI raiding Mr. Williams' house? At any rate, franchise in total disarray. The Chicago Bears, that justifies laying the 12.5 with the Chiefs. Steelers, Raiders. This used to be the shit when I was a boy. Oh my goodness gracious. The Steelers and the Raiders, some savage, nasty games. These two teams hated each other, and they were both great teams. Oh, just the best of the best. And I'm not sure you even get games like that anymore. For one thing, they don't let you hit like that anymore. But we're going to lay the points with the Steelers. We just think at this point in time, the Steelers are a better franchise than, what are they now, Las Vegas? Las Vegas. We're laying the points. The Eagles never play well down in Tampa. That's one of those places we just dread to go. It's like, son of a bitch, we got to go down there again. The Eagles have lost so many games down in Tampa that should have been won. And I think this is just going to be another one that The Eagles have played poorly all year long. The only reason they're 2-0 is because the teams just keep fumbling the ball to us. Just inexplicably fumbling the ball to us. We don't force it out, notwithstanding Darius Slay's comments. They just fumble the ball to us. So, you know, I think that luck is going to end, and the Buccaneers will cover the 4.5. And then lastly, why are we playing 2 games on Monday night? What is this? At least play them, stretch them out or something. Start one at 6 and one at 9 so I can watch both of them. But you run them on top of each other, I can't watch them both. That's just stupid. So I don't know what they're doing there. But at any rate, we do think the Rams are going to put the Bengals down at 0-3. The Bengals have played poorly. The Rams clearly better than people thought they were going to be. I think I told you that. So we'll take the Rams plus the 2.5. This feels pretty good. Last week felt really good. This one feels pretty good. I think there definitely are some winners in there. Tennessee, we like that one a lot. UConn, we like. Maryland, definitely. Air Force, we like that one. Now, make sure you go to betstamp.app because I am going to throw some off-the-map games on there that I didn't bother writing down here just because this video is already 50 minutes long and subscriber X's attention span is 1/20th of that. But at any rate, hey, thanks for listening. You know, I like it when people watch the videos. Hey, hit the like button a couple times. You know, go ahead, do it. You know it's there. You watch the videos. Hit the like button. That makes me feel good. And when I feel good, I handicap better. So do that. Help me help you. That sort of thing. We'll talk again. Eric Arnold signing off.